The Spurs get their guy, and obviously the player I was hoping for in Stephon Castle. Now, admittedly, I'm not a huge college basketball guy, and I'm definitely not the type of guy to follow foreign players or the G League. But once the Spurs were given the fourth pick, I started looking into the top end prospects to see who I felt was worth that spot and most importantly, the best fit for the Spurs. In my mind, Castle was the best overall player and also exactly what the Spurs needed. As I said in my last Castle video a few weeks ago, there are definitely players that do things better than him, but his full bag, in my opinion, is better overall, and the things he needs to improve on are easier fixes than guys without handles, defense, IQ, and drive. In a pre-draft interview, Castle was saying he's a humble guy, prides himself on being as good off the court as on, and when asked who he looks up to and models his game after, he named Drew Holiday, Ant, and Kawhi. Literally couldn't be more of a Spurs player. In my opinion, he's the best point of attack defender in the draft. At 6'6", he can guard multiple positions. He has a high motor, top end IQ and ball handling. In my opinion, the top rebounding guard and one of the strongest finishers at the guard position. The biggest knocks on him were shooting and if he was good enough of a ball handler to be the main point guard. He came out of high school as a McDonald's All-American at the point guard position and played a good amount at that position alongside Newton at UConn. With a good shooting form and a high free throw percentage, San Antonio developing his shot is the least of my concerns. If you think back to guys like Kawhi, Tony Parker, more recently Trey Jones, and even Jeremy Sohan, just to name a few, they all made huge improvements shooting under the Spurs' development. The point of attack defense and that dog mentality are the two things that jumped off the screen for me. Those are the two biggest things that I feel the Spurs are lacking, and getting both of those things in a point guard, which is another team need, is an absolute perfect fit. The Spurs must have felt somewhat the same way because once they got their guy, they grabbed Dillingham at 8 and sent him to Minnesota for a 20, 30, and 31 first-round pick and a pick swap. The Spurs are clearly not veering away from the rebuild plan, and with a better draft class next year and better free agency field, aren't going to rush things for the sake of rushing them. I fully expect to see them trade for a vet or two and grab someone in the free agency, but if they don't see someone as a long-term fit, collecting draft capital and maintaining salary cap space should still be the plan. I'm hoping he can pick up the game plan quickly and get some quality minutes early on. I can't imagine how drastically this team's defense will improve with him at the point of attack and Wemby protecting the rim. The impact those two at those levels of the court will have should make all of the other players' lives much easier on the defensive end. Whether he develops a three-point shot sooner or later, his ability to get to the rim, finish with strength, and especially find the open man, I think is going to give this offense a much more aggressive look with more open shots for guys like Devin Vassell. There's obviously still plenty of holes to fill between the second-round picks and the offseason, and it'll take some more time to assess who stays and who goes from the current roster, but I feel Castle addresses more needs and has more of an immediate impact than any other prospect this draft had to offer.